Hey guys, so today I am 22 weeks pregnant and I'm so excited to film my 22-week update for you. I have a doctor's appointment, ultrasound, lots of stuff happening, but I've got to get my weeks 20 and 21 vlog up first. So let me get this vlog done and then I can make my new vlog. For week 20 I chose the sentence, "I look like a pregnant lady." And for week 21, "I can feel the baby kicking now." Okay, the sentence I wrote is, "I feel like my whiskers have been trimmed." And there's a story behind this, and it does not involve facial hair. When I was younger, my friend told me a story about her mom when her mom was a kid. And when her mom was a kid, she had seen a neighborhood cat and thought the cat was cute and was like petting the cat, playing with the cat. And then the cat had really long whiskers, and so she had trimmed the cat's whiskers just, to give it a haircut. And her mom later on went on to be a hairdresser, so she's gotten a lot better with her hairdressing skills. But the problem for the cat was that cats' whiskers indicate their width. And so if a cat wants to test whether or not it can go into something, it will put its head forward, and if the whiskers will fit through, then the cat can go through. But if the whiskers don't fit through, the cat won't go through. So what happened is this cat went and got itself stuck in a drain pipe. The cat was totally fine, like happy cat, no problem. But the cat went to this pipe and put its face in and then got stuck because the cat thought it could fit in because its whiskers were nice and narrow, but the cat wasn't as narrow as its whiskers. So for weeks 20 and 21, I've been feeling kind of like my whiskers have been trimmed. I no longer have a good sense of where I fit. The best example of this is on the plane ride home from London. You know how if you're passing someone in the aisles on a plane, the best way to stand is back to back, because then you're not having this awkward like boobs and stuff or touching moment. So I went to go back to someone, and they didn't seem to want to go back to back with me, and they seemed uncomfortable doing so. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because usually I work on a plane and I'm used to changing spots with people, and even when the trolleys are in the aisles, if they just scoot the trolley over, I can scoot by the trolley. It's like, usually I have no problem fitting on a plane. But yeah, people no longer seem willing to share the aisle with me, so I'm feeling a little bit like my whiskers have been trimmed and I don't have a conception of where I fit. And this includes going behind chairs or reaching up to get something and the stove's in the way and I bump into a pan or something. So I've definitely got some belly that I'm just not used to accounting for, which is kind of hilarious. In 20 and 21 weeks, a big mind shift happened. I was on a boat, which is like the train, because in Venice they have boats instead of public transport, so that is their public transport because it's all water, right? So we were on the boat and no one would sit down for me for a long time, or let me sit down, and then eventually when someone did let me sit down, I was kind of not embarrassed that I had to have a seat, but there's something that is like a loss of independence about having to sit down, because usually I'm the kind of person who, if I see two friends and I know they want to sit together, I'll stand up or move seats to accommodate to let the friends sit together. But now I'm that person that needs to be accommodated for, and if people aren't willing to do it, I find it kind of frustrating that I'm feeling really exhausted but I don't have anywhere to sit. So then if eventually someone caves and gives me a seat, I just feel really uncomfortable. And pretty much the whole way on this boat ride, I sat there with my eyes closed and I was like trying really hard not to cry, because I don't know, at the time I couldn't figure out why, but it really upset me that I had to get a seat in the way things went down. I think that what I'm realizing is that now I just have less independence than I'm used to having. I couldn't pick up my backpack on my own for the last half of the trip. Joe had to pick it up and then I could put it on, walk around, no problem. But I had to have my backpack lifted for me, and I had to have a seat on public transportation, and just, yeah, it was really uncomfortable for me to have that loss of independence for weeks 20 and 21, but by now I'm used to it, so it's really not a big deal. But I just thought I'd share that because it's a part of the experience. Movement. I wasn't too sure between 20 and 21 weeks if I was feeling movement or not, and I was really anxious waiting for the movement to start because I know a lot of people by 21 weeks they can feel their baby, and I wasn't, so it was kind of stressing me out. But then I started to feel movement on the left side a bit more. I was at a soccer game in Munich, and during the soccer game, when Germany had scored, the baby started kicking, which was really cool. And then upon our return to Canada at 21 weeks, my sister-in-law Rachel felt the baby kick on my left side, and Joe felt the baby kick. So yeah, the baby's doing some stuff, but I still wasn't able to feel the baby kicking just in the rest of my belly. The bump is the next symptom. My baby bump is definitely more obvious. It seems like everyone's pretty clearly aware that I'm pregnant. Standing. Standing is not my favorite thing for long periods. Help is nice. Sleeping. The last 2 weeks of pregnancy on the trip, sleeping got really interesting. I was backpacking, so I would put a little, like one of Joe's shirts under my stomach and then my travel pillow between my knees. And sleeping was just kind of awkward all in all, but it was really not a big deal. We were moving from hostel to hostel, and the beds aren't always like the most comfortable, so now that I'm home, I definitely appreciate my bed. The heat. In Munich and in Rome, it was about 30 Celsius, and I love the heat usually, but I've become a little bit heat intolerant, and I've also been kind of overheating randomly. Like on the train one day I was overheating, and at night when I go to bed sometimes I'm feeling really warm, but that's not really a big deal, just like a pregnancy thing. I'll talk a little bit more about leg cramps in my week 22 update, but I was waking up in the middle of the night with this like stabbing, terrible, give me pain medication now sort of pain. And I'm the kind of person that if I have a headache, I don't even take a Tylenol. So for me to be like, you know what? I would take injections for this kind of pain over the leg cramps, you know it's really serious. So yeah, that sucked. But it's all worth it for the baby, you know. In sum, for how I'm feeling for weeks 20 and 21, my overriding feeling is that I'm really proud of myself for being as energetic and positive as I've been in spite of some discomforts I've been feeling. Backpacking presents a lot of challenges, and I feel like I've rolled with things really well, like changing in small bathrooms, sleeping in uncomfortable beds, doing lots of walking, like 7 hours a day at sometimes, and loads of stairs, and loads of new environment and new foods and everything. I feel like I've rolled with things really well. I feel like it was all worth it because Joe and I got to have dinner at the beer gardens of Munich and explore the Roman ruins. We learned to make chocolate mousse and creme brulee in Paris, and overall the trip brought us a lot closer together. And whenever you travel with someone, you always learn more about each other, and it tends to strengthen your relationship even more. So overall, I would say that travel in second trimester is worth it, and there are some challenges, but as long as you have a good attitude about it and set reasonable limits, it's totally worth it. So